In an old but spacious house in a quiet village, Zainab lived with her mother-in-law. It had only been a year since her marriage, yet her life had already begun to change in ways she had never imagined. Her husband, Salim, worked in a factory far away in the city and could only visit home once every few months. Zainab held on to hope, because she was expecting a child. She believed that when Salim returned, everything would be all right. But fate had other plans. In the beginning, her mother-in-law, Rashida Begum, seemed like a strict but normal woman. However, as soon as Salim left for the city, her true nature began to reveal itself. Rashida Begum was harsh, cold-hearted, and controlling. She made Zainab work from morning till night, ignoring her condition. "This is not illness, these are just excuses," Rashida would shout. "In our time, women worked in fields even during pregnancy. You only stay at home." Zainab stayed silent. She swallowed her pain, her tears, and her fears. She didn't want to complain about her husband's mother. Deep inside, she just waited for Salim to return. One day, Zainab felt extremely weak. Her head was spinning, and she could barely stand. Gathering courage, she softly said, "Ami, I think I should see a doctor."
You have brought nothing but shame upon
Rashida
this
glared
family,
at her
Zainab.
angrily. "Doctor,
How could you defy
do
me
you
like
think money
this?
grows on trees? Sit down and do your work." Tears filled Zainab's eyes, but she said nothing.
Take the rice inside immediately.
She knew arguing would
and
only
make
make
sure
things
the
worse.
courtyard is clean before noon.
That night,
I will
sitting
not
alone in her
tolerate
room,
laziness today.
she gently placed her hand on her belly and whispered, "My child, please stay safe. I will protect you from every pain." Her silent tears soaked into her pillow. Days passed, and the cruelty only increased. Rashida Begum not only exhausted Zainab physically but also broke her emotionally. Sometimes she reduced her meals,
I
sometimes
told you
she
to stack the
scolded her
jute
without
properly,
reason.
not just leave it there.
One morning,
Finish it now
Rashida
and then
ordered
sweep
her
the
to clean the
courtyard.
stairs.
I expect this place to be
Zainab
spotless by
hesitated
lunch.
and said softly, "Ami, the doctor said I shouldn't bend too much. Don't teach me what to do." Rashida shouted, "Do as I say." With trembling hands and tearful eyes, Zainab picked up the broom and started cleaning. Suddenly, her foot slipped, and she fell down the stairs. For a moment, the entire house went silent. Zainab cried out in pain, "Ami, it hurts, please." Rashida was startled
Hurry,
for a
open the
second,
door.
but
She
then
can't
she
wait.
hardened her expression. "Stop this
Almost
drama.
there, Zainab. Just a little further.
Get up." But Zainab couldn't move. Eventually, the neighbors insisted, and she was taken to the hospital. The doctor, clearly upset, said, "Do you people have any sense? She is pregnant. She needs rest, not this kind of workload." Rashida Begum stayed quiet, but there was no regret on her face. Thankfully, the baby was safe, but the doctor strictly advised complete rest. When Salim heard the news, he rushed back immediately.
Are you okay?
Seeing Zainab lying weak in the hospital bed broke his heart. "What happened? How did this happen?" he asked anxiously. Zainab stayed silent. She didn't want to complain. But a neighbor who was there spoke up.
This is all your
"Son,
fault.
if you
You
want the
promised
truth,
me he would be
ask your
fine.
mother.
I am not
This girl
responsible
works
for
all
this.
day.
How dare you
You can
speak
see
to me
her
like
condition
that?
yourself." Salim looked at his mother, his eyes filled with pain and anger. "Ami, is this true?" Rashida avoided his gaze. "I only wanted to make her strong." Salim's voice trembled. "Strength doesn't come from cruelty, Ami. What you did is wrong." For the first time, Rashida Begum had no answer. Salim held Zainab's hand gently.
I love
"Nothing will
you
happen now.
both so
I won't leave you alone
much.
again." Tears rolled down
This
Zainab's
is-
cheeks, but this time, they carried relief instead of pain. After a few days, Zainab returned home, but everything had changed. Salim decided to take her with him to the city so she could live peacefully. Rashida Begum was left alone in the house. That night, sitting in silence, she felt something she had never felt before: regret. The empty house echoed with her thoughts. "What have I done?" she whispered to herself. Meanwhile, in the city, Zainab's life slowly began to heal. Salim cared for her, and with time, her wounds, both physical and emotional, started to fade. Months later, Zainab gave birth to a beautiful baby boy. Holding his son in his arms, Salim said softly, "I promise, you will never face cruelty in your life." Zainab smiled, her eyes filled with hope. For the first time in a long while, she felt safe. This story reminds us that cruelty never builds strength, it destroys relationships. Love, kindness, and respect are the true foundations of a happy home. And sometimes, even silence finds its voice one day. This story teaches that cruelty and harshness never create strength, they only destroy relationships and hearts. A home cannot survive on fear and control, it needs love, care, and understanding. It also reminds us that silence against oppression can be dangerous. Speaking up at the right time can save lives and relationships.